welcome to Don's Manufactory. Well, it is a scorching 103 degrees outside, and I've got my little puny, here I'll show it to you real quick, puny little air conditioner. Not really big enough for the shop here, but it does keep it a little cooler. It's about 80, well now it's 90 degrees in here, because I just turned it off. Because, you know, I didn't want to make too much noise in the microphone. So, what am I doing today? Well, I am designing and fabricating new distributor plates. I have 3 OEM ones here that just need a few things to fix them up. In the meantime, I laid out a plate here of 16 gauge steel, which is the same as those plates. And I'm going to cut out these here squares, and I'll be turning them into little rounds, and they will become the lower and upper plates of distributor plates. So I'm going to make 3, 2 for my brother. He's got a couple of Torinos that need plates, and then of course 1 for Betsy. Okay, so first order of business is to drill 1-inch holes right on center. And I've got the drill press set up for that, and I'll bring you back when I'm done drilling holes. Okay, so yeah, I made kind of a mess here. But what I did yesterday, I went through all of my plates. This one here, I could fix this one up if I wanted to change this over to nylon, but it's a real early one. It was really rusty, so I don't know. I could make it work. But basically, I took all these OEM plates that are reasonably good, and I refurbed them so that they work really well. I had enough nylon spacers that I robbed out of these so I could get some of them put together. And then on some of them, like this one here, I had to make all 3 spacers out of acetal. They didn't have any nylon at Tap Plastics, so yeah, I just used acetal. Works just fine. It's, you know, they got the acetal's a little tougher, and I don't know, I think the melting points are very similar. So like this one here, I had to replace 1, but these all have, oh, and I transferred one of the pins out of one of these. I just stole the pin out of it, which I haven't done to this one yet, and put it in this plate so I could have a good plate. Anyway, so I refurbed them. So now I have 4 good ones. Well, 3 there. Let's see. This one here, number 4, has that bad pin, so I have to make a new pin for that one. So it's not finished yet. This one here had a good pin in it, and so I just needed to fix it up with spacers, and you know, it's real good. So anyway, there's 4 functioning plates that are ready to go. I started cutting the metal out for my plates. So it takes 2 plates per, 1 for the bottom, 1 for the upper. I might as well show you this. This is my 3-inch chuck, which doesn't fit my machine anymore because I changed it over to a 4-inch spindle and chuck. But the 4-inch won't go through the middle here. It's just too big. So I need to change this adapter over. Basically, I'll make a pill. I'll just turn a pill that goes in here and goes in there to index this. See, and then I can just bolt it through from the back side. But I have to turn this down and turn it into, instead of protruding, it needs to be recessed so that this adapter can be flipped around the other way and bolted up to the 4-inch spindle, and then it'll become the adapter for my 3-inch, so I can do this smaller work. Anyway, so you know, it's that standard thing where you have to make the tools in order to do the job. It takes the 4-inch chuck to be able to turn the outside of this, and you know, to grab it by the outside to turn the inside, but it takes the 3-inch chuck to grab the inside and turn the outside. Just ran my errands, got myself a hunk of black iron pipe here that I'm going to use for making the sleeves that go inside here and make these work concentric. I will be replicating the prototype, which is already in Betsy and it's already running. So let me show you what that is. Alright, so first order of business is I gotta get the air cleaner off so I can work on the distributor. For those of you that don't watch the channel all the time, now you will see a couple of the reasons why this Monte Carlo bar is shaped the way it is. First reason is so it clears the horn, the air horn on the air cleaner. And the second reason is so I can get to the distributor real easy. Okay, now you got a little different perspective here. Let's pop that coil wire off and get these. I can get it up over here like so. Anyway, so the first thing you see is the piece of copper that I silver soldered onto the bottom of this rotor so to extend the tail end. Alright, that's the first thing. This is the prototype distributor plate. Now it looks fairly stock in there, doesn't it? I guarantee you it is not. Here's the deal. Get my vacuum advance hooked up here to my vacuum pump, and when you pump it up, notice that the distributor plate runs concentric to the shaft. And you'll notice I did all the usual stuff here. That square hole right there, that's so you can stick a screwdriver through there and bend the arms that the springs hook to, so you can recurve the distributor without taking it apart. So I always pick my springs carefully so that I can pretty much custom tailor any curve I need. So things are really snug in here. You know, this can't move around except for pushing the vacuum advance around. So you can see just how that it moves concentric. So I got to take this plate out so that I can look at the way I designed it. Alrighty, so here is the distributor plate out of Betsy. I used brass for the spacers instead of nylon. That's how I did it. A little cutout here so you can get the screw in and out, the square hole for being able to curve the distributor, and the whole thing's held together with an Audi snap ring. There, now it separates instead of compresses. And we do that, and we'll just spring this out and get it off of there. Come on. There it goes. Okay. And that is it. Simple. Just a little sleeve on the lower plate, and then a sleeve on the upper plate. That has the groove in it for the snap ring, and is just touch down tigging right there, little tig tacks to hold it in. And even that was enough to make it not square. I had to remachine the inside, because same problem. I need to get these sleeves in, then chuck them up in the lathe and size the inside, and that way they will be concentrically round, and which they aren't right now. Anyway, that's how tight the tolerances are. There's no play in that thing. It's got clearance, but there's no play. And what I couldn't remember was what I did for dimensions on this, that it all worked out. So, naturally the top has to be small enough that the points fit on there. See how close that is? Points have to be able to fit on there, but then it has to be big enough to go around the lobes on the distributor. I couldn't remember which size snap ring I was using, and I wanted to use something that was readily available at like Ace Hardware, whatever. But this prototype works pretty dang good. Real stable timing. I got to make some of these pins because I don't have any spares. So each one of these plates has to have 3 spacers. We'll see if I can make all those dimensions. I'm pretty sure that the wall thickness is thick enough that I can turn down the outside to make the inside sleeve, and then I can turn down the inside to make the outside sleeve, and it should all fit. See, I'm pretty sure that's what I did. Now you know the story of the prototype concentric distributor plate. So the timing is just really stable. It just pulls up and just stays there. I'll just stick my head down here. It's 10 o'clock tonight, and it's still 85 degrees outside. I've had enough for today, but let me show you what I did. So I've been juggling the chucks on my lathe, and what I've been doing is making, or I should say redoing, this adapter. So the whole idea is I machined the back side out so it will now fit on the 4-inch chuck, and I had to make this pill which goes on this end right here like this, so that this chuck centers up on it. And all of this work I just had to do converting this adapter just so that I could do that one production step. That will wrap it up for tonight, and I'll catch you tomorrow on a new day when I finish this up. I should have all of these plates done, hopefully. I went and got the fasteners I needed to get my adapter done. So basically I just bolt this up. I use a little tappy tap to get the housing true, and using my dial indicator, and there you have it. So what I'm doing now, let's see, what am I doing now? I just finished turning this. So this is the plate that this is the bottom plate that fits in the distributor right there. I gave it about 1/1000th of clearance. I'm hoping that this isn't an example of a large distributor, and I'll have problems with these fitting other distributors. I do have 2 or 3 I can check here, and if it's good on all 3 of those, then I'll be okay. I gotta keep going. I'm making this part right now. This is the inner sleeve that goes on the top plate. I have to cut the recess that slides into the plate and leaves the proper distance between the snap ring and that top plate, and then cut the groove, then cut it to length, move on to the next one. So I have to apologize for the air conditioning noise in the background, but it's been a real scorcher here in Portland lately. If you're interested in figuring out how to use the lathe, know more about this, my suggestion is go to Blondie Hack's YouTube channel. She has great lessons over there with explanations on how to do things. So really way more detailed than I can do here. I'm just showing what I'm doing to afford to get the distributor problems to go away, and there you are. Anyway, let's get on with it. So I have finished turning out these sleeves that go on the bottoms of the top plates. That'll do for tonight. It's time to go in for dinner. It's I don't know what the heck time it is. It is well, it's only 7:15, and I'm knocking off already. Boy, seems like I'm being lazy. I have finished turning the bushings out of that piece of pipe, and they're all sized and ready to be welded. So I got lots of holes and trimming to do to make it work right, and then I'll weld the sleeve in, and after that the bottom plate, after welding, has to then be put back on the lathe, and the center bore trued up round and fit to the sleeve. And that is where I'm at. Now, it's getting late. It's Sunday night. It's 88 degrees out here in the garage, even though I've had the air conditioning running. But I think maybe this is where I'm going to say thanks for watching Don's Manufactory. It's time to dive into the basement and try to get a video out by tomorrow morning. I better get busy. Catch you later.